And welcome back from our talk, and congratulations to Outshift by Cisco. So good to hear from Vijay Pandey. We heard about some great case studies, different incubation experiences in cloud security and in AI, including some key learnings from successful graduates and some pivoted projects. And there's so much more to talk about with Outshift, which is great because I get to welcome GSM, who joined me here in the studio. You were out front there with Rob before, and now I get you. You're everywhere here across the show.
I'm everywhere, Steve.
I've learned this about you over the years. Thank you for taking time. I'm sure you're in a huge amount of demand, and it's so good to have you here with us.
My pleasure.
So let's kind of start at the baseline, right? There are still a lot of people, even within our Cisco ecosystem, who don't really know what Outshift by Cisco is all about or what it is that we do. And then I want to get a bit more specific and talk about this new vision of Internet of Agents that we heard from Vijay. But let's start with the baseline.
Yeah, so put it simply, Outshift is the incubation engine for Cisco. And we recognized a few years ago that for rapidly emerging technologies such as AI, generative AI, quantum, even cloud security at the time, we recognized that these needed special type of innovation to help Cisco enter in this very, very uncharted and barely mature part of the market. And so that's really what we do. We are capable to incubate new product, new solution for adjacent personas to our business, not in years, in months. So it's a fairly intense job, but that's what we do at Outshift.
And I've watched it happen in real time. It's so exciting to see something that is conceptual, it's very well designed, very well developed, but people don't know about it. Getting the word out, doing storytelling around the product, getting the industry, the marketplace engaged and interested in driving this path forward.
So that's exactly where we are with the Internet of Agents. So let me sort of give you the TLDR of what Vijay just shared with us. So the way to think about it is, if you look at how Cisco for the past 40 years, like we've been patiently helping to build this infrastructure that we call the Internet, which really underpins the entire digital economy, digital stack today. So we want to do the same thing probably for the next 40 years. It's a multi-decade vision. It's our boldest ever vision. We call it BHAG between us, like, bold, hairy, ambitious goal.
Right.
That's the Internet of Agents. And so we want to build this new Internet, which is going to enable the AI-first innovation for the next 40 years. So why, you might ask me, are we so obsessed about agents? And here is the reason. So we've all been through the ChatGPT moment where all of a sudden, these large language models were giving us the ability to interact in natural language and access knowledge in an incredible way. And that was already super impressive. And now Cisco is busy building all these assistants across our product, just like most companies are across the world. But what happened in the past 12 months, which is super interesting, is that the world realized that these LLMs also have the ability to some point to do reasoning, almost like a human. Take a problem, chop it into steps, and actually, with this type of approach, which we are trading, in a way, training for inference. So we do much more inference. So instead of having just one go at an LLM, we might actually tell the LLM, take your time. There's a big problem. Decompose it in 10 steps, 100 steps, 1,000 steps. Go and infer. I'll be back in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 hours tomorrow, but you'll give me a wonderful answer to a very complex problem. So the emergence of agent is really the promise for enterprise to the full realization of the power of AI. Now the problem with agents, and this is the second step leading us to the Internet of Agents, is that you can think about an agent a bit like a super specialized expert which you'd hire on your team, very good at doing a particular task. But if you want to tackle complex cross-company problems, you need more than one agent, just like you would hire more than one person to do the job. And at this point, you need to start identifying these agents. So the world needs to be able to announce and discover agents, needs to be able to make them communicate and collaborate together, and this in a secure way. And that's what we call the Internet of Agents, a secure, quantum-safe, open, interoperable Internet for agent-to-agent and agent-to-human collaboration. That's the bold vision we have.
It is a beautiful vision, and we heard about it from the keynote stage this morning. Oliver almost kicked off with it at the beginning, where where we've
True.
been talking AI. Well, I mean, look, we've been talking AI for 50 years. This is nothing new for us here at Cisco either. It's the idea that we've now entered into the age of the agent within AI, and as you just said, into that cross-platform, getting the AI to speak with one another, to get them to cooperate and collaborate together.
Absolutely.
It's such an incredibly exciting time, and that's really the next place that I wanted to go is kind of a why now. It feels like a moment of pivot within the industry where people are saying, all right, we've done enough setup. Now actually let's get practical. Let's stop being afraid. Let's dive in. Let's see what it's capable of. Because the other thing Oliver said is anybody who doesn't do it is going to find themselves at a net negative, right?
Absolutely. And yeah, this is the right moment. It's a pivotal moment, as you said. And we think Cisco has a very special role to play here, right? It's a bold vision, but it's almost like we not only have the right to play, but we have the obligation to play with this Internet of Agents for the greater good of the industry. And let me tell you why. So first of all, this is completely like aligned with our DNA. This is about connecting the next important artifact, across the internet, which will be agents. This is about discovery, networking, observability, security, even like evaluation of these agentic ensembles. So this is really like playing right in the DNA of Cisco. And also, what's important is to make sure that this Internet of Agent is an open platform, right? Because we know that just like we've built the internet, we know this is the only way we can maximize the value for all the players in the ecosystem. So we don't think the future of agentic should be with walled garden and closed platforms. So that's what we are going. So we think Cisco really has the right to play. The other thing is that the good news is that we are not starting from scratch. So we are not going to reinvent the internet itself as it is today. We're not going to reinvent all the Internet of Clouds and the cloud stack, the cloud native stack on top. So agents are going to run and leverage all these formidable progress we've made in the last 15 years with cloud native. But we know that there is another layer that we need to invent and that we need to collectively incubate to enable the Internet of Agents. And we are not going to do it by ourselves. We are going to do it collectively. It will be a collective open source. Many companies will be able to come and compete on top of this and help us build this open, interoperable platform. And again, quantum safe, because we're in 2025. We cannot do the next big thing without thinking about quantum security and quantum safety.
It's got to be embedded. It's got to be native to the product and the capability. And you just hit on something so important. I always like to say that we are always weakest in Cisco as an island. It's our partnerships. It's the people that we work with. It's the way that our customers drive us and us listening to their demands that allow us to create this capability. And that's the next thing I wanted to ask you. Why us? I know it seems like an obvious answer to us, but why is Cisco the one to make this drive?
Yeah, I think, let me insist again on the open nature of this new layer of connectivity, right? I think that it takes a lot of trust. I mean, these agentic applications are going to be extremely powerful, but also potentially a bit scary if you do not trust the infrastructure and the vendors and the standards, right, which are used for this. So I think that Cisco has proven in the past that we can rally the industry behind us. And again, there will be competition, but the foundation of this has to be open and standardized. And who better than Cisco to do this, right?
And who tells the story better than Cisco? I always feel like there is a sense of community and a sense of family within this organization that helps go to that partnership story of leveraging one another's strengths and helping to fill the gaps in one another's weaknesses. It is a relationship issue.
Yeah, and let me, so we are going to announce much more in the next few weeks and months, but we are literally, as we speak, putting an initial collective, open source collective behind this. So again, we cannot do it alone. And we are pulling partners, we are pulling key players in the ecosystem, in the agentic stack with us, because we know that this is not a one company effort. Right. You can think about it as, our collective platform for the next few decades. So this is something this is our collective future, right? We need to build it all together.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's talk specifically to our technical audience who is here in the live stream with us, right? So if we've got architects, developers, engineers on board, they're paying attention to this, they're excited about it. how do they start making this move toward what you're talking about right now, specifically in agent world? What can they do differently starting today and into tomorrow as we drive toward their AI future here?
Yeah, so there's a few things I can recommend. I mean, this is really important because the time is now. So action is now. So the first thing you can do is, first of all, start retooling yourself. AI might sound like a big name, but actually it's very easy these days to start learning and start experimenting. Go and build your agents. Even if you're not like a deep code expert, you can use natural language to experiment and build your first agents. If you're a code nerd, you can go deep and you can also build, your own agents. So it's very important to get familiar because this tech is coming at us very, very fast. The second thing I would say is also start to think about how your organization, whichever business vertical you're part of, how your organization in the future might take advantage of agentic workflow. What could change, and start working and thinking about what use case you want to bring to the Internet of Agent in the future. And last but not least, as I said, we are going to build this collectively. So, engage with us on the open source in due time when we are, when we'll release, the first elements of it. And today, immediately, go and check the Outshift website. We have a wonderful white paper explaining the vision around Internet of Agents. And so you can engage with us immediately. Even on the DevNet booth, today you can go and see how we start to help our network engineers and developers to observe agents, to think about how we can secure agents, how we can deploy them. So it's happening now.
We talk so often about how the enemy of progress is complexity, right?
Yeah.
Simplification, you just said it a moment ago, be confident about this. Don't let the fear guide you.
Yeah.
Go out and write the new agent. Caitlin talked about that again this morning from the keynote stage, where she said,
Absolutely.
I want to create the new agent. It's not like you're limited. You don't have a specific amount that you can do, and then all of a sudden, poof, you're out. If just dive in. Almost anybody can do this without that deep dive. Now, again, we were just talking to the technical people, but if you're not a technical person and you're wondering what it is that you can do, that's the whole point. Just dive in and get it done.
Yeah, it's all natural language at the end of the day, which is fascinating.
It is, and that's such a big change from even what we were talking about 2 years, 3 years ago. It's come so far so quick. All right, so we're getting to the end of our time together here, but what I also want to ask you about is you mentioned what you can do when you get over to the DevNet zone. If people are here at the show, or if they haven't been and they're going to come in the future, let's say they'll be with us in San Diego, what is going to be the big talk? Go ahead and look into your crystal ball. 4 months, 4.5 months from now, we're in San Diego. What are we talking about in the DevNet zone?
Yeah, so I think this Internet of Agent, which today we present as a concept and as a thesis, is going to rapidly become extremely concrete. So by then, you'll be able to start to touch it, feel it, experiment with it, and we'll be able to tell a bit more about, the collective, the open source initiative, and how we start attaching this to Cisco's portfolio. So this is going to be super exciting. There is a ton of work for all of us to make this happen, but, in 4 months from now, this is like, dog years for us. 4 months is like 4 years of innovation. So a lot will happen by then.
Oh, it's so true. And this is why we're grateful to have you and Vijay and the rest of the Outshift team working on this and pressing it forward. And you heard it here first on the broadcast. 4 months from now, this is going to be more than conceptual.
Yes.
This is going to be something that you can roll out and put your hands on. GSM, thank you. I so appreciate it.
Steve.
Anything that you want to do to put a little button on our conversation here, or do you feel like we covered it well?
No, it was a great time with you as always. And thanks for, letting Outshift shine in this program, year after year. Thanks so much.
Again, I've always loved what it is that Outshift by Cisco is doing, and I'm just so impressed by it. So thank you again for your time and your efforts. Appreciate it. We're going to take a very, very quick station break here. Do not go away. I'm going to meet you right back here just 7 seconds from now.